official NRL Fantasy Podcast.
I'm not worried.
Tavanga on the bench.
Outstanding.
Jake back. But could be fine. I'm Paulie G. League Fleet Andrew Molina rolling.
Hello, mate.
That's the news.
There we go.
Very first 4:01, well, 4 o'clock, and Tavanga's been benched.
Who picked him up?
Oh, a lot of people.
Well, I've got him.
Yeah, okay.
No, a lot of people still try to pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dodged that
What a
bullet.
way to start the show, hey?
Yeah.
Just put the teams in the first game and voila, he's out. So
Are
that's
we
what
shocked?
people are dealing with. Not really.
I'm not shocked.
No, not really.
No.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know if you can hold him all the way through to round 18, though. I think people were hoping he'd cover the bye periods with Aaron Clark off 15 and 18.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be tricky now. I'm 15, he might get away with it, but 18 might be tougher.
Manly are a bit light on in the forward, so that I don't know.
Well, simply being named to start's a
Yeah.
pretty big indicator of that.
The question will be, will Siebes want to go big in the middle, or will he be happy to just play Jake and Tavanga side by side?
I still think he probably ends up playing 60 minutes.
Wow.
It's a lot.
And how many would Jake play?
Well, I think Jake's one that'll move. Like Jake
He'll
will
go to
move
prop.
to prop. Yeah.
I reckon
I-
around 110 combined.
I don't know. I don't
So-
know if Toff plays any more than 20, 25 minutes straight away.
Yeah, I got him at 30 minutes, but that might be being a bit polite. It could be less.
I think the Jazz issue is if you haven't got in on him, probably too late
Well,
now.
it's too late, but you're actually that's the what you wanted. If you didn't own Jazz, and you're watching the rest of the people that got him get these good scores, that's what you were hoping for. Oh, great, because that's why you didn't get him, because you assumed that Jake would come straight back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I avoided, just because. Yeah.
You're a smart man.
No faith.
No faith.
Yeah.
What else did we take away from last week's games? There was a lot of chatter around the new rule, only 13 starting, and I think some people might have got a bit caught out.
Yeah.
Guys on the bench that we did try to bring it up on last week's show to be mindful and really loop where you can and really work it out in advance.
And people were still blindsided by it.
Yeah, I think they'll be better for the run though, right? 16 and 19 now they'll know what to expect.
Yeah.
And they might be able to attack.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
I will know more. And if all the Origin guys get rested in 16, we'll suddenly might change a few opinions, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think a lot of the Penrith boys will be rested, so.
See, I think on the
Different teams on bye as
Yep,
well.
yep.
Could be, Dolphins and Sharks are not very fantasy relevant this year, so unless you held your Bulldogs and Carraz, we'll get to that, spoiler alert. If you held him because you're laughing because he's been named, but probably like most people moved on.
Yes, I did.
No, me too. All right, shall we get to some previews?
Let's do it.
Rip in.
Newcastle Knights take on the Manly Warringah Seagulls. It's 1997 all over again. The grand final, of course, rematch from all those years ago, one of the most famous ones. And Thursday night footy, good way to start a full round. I'm glad that we're back to full round. Not as much as I love Origin, for me, fantasy's where it's at, and 8 games. I'm enjoying it.
Thursday to Monday, Paulie, how good?
Yeah, big one. Long
one,
weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, Andrew will love that.
It's going to be great. So Lehigh Hopewadi remaining at fullback. Are you considering him, Andrew? He's got a good bye schedule.
No, I think Tommy's going to be back soon.
He'll be back the next week.
Yeah.
Great score last week.
Seabold said himself if it was a Sunday game, he was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's a superstar, don't get me wrong, but yeah, Tommy's coming back.
Ponga is back for Newcastle. That's a big in. Fletcher Sharp back into the halves with Cogger. No Greg Marju. There's a few of us who have been holding.
I'm shocked by that.
But he's in the 22 and they play first.
Yep.
So you're going to know what's happening there. But it's getting tougher and tougher to hold him.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately,
again,
we thought we might have been back by now.
Well, Hunt is very safe under the high ball, so I'm thinking maybe O'Brien doesn't mind that at all.
but they need But if DC kicks again like he did on Saturday night, they're going to need kick returners. They need Marju's meters.
They need
something.
They need to get on a front. Like again, the biggest out for this game is Leo Thompson.
Yeah,
That's
and
huge.
Jacob, right? The
Yeah, but Leo,
because
like
he was in
if
last.
Jacob was out,
Yeah.
at least Leo, because a lot of people, Leo was actually put to us a lot. Remember last couple of
Yeah, well,
weeks
people
ago?
did pick him up. People did
That's
pick up
that's
Jacob.
brutal. It's like
both
4
of them.
weeks.
And do you worry now with your stocks in Lucas and Sharp because the forward pack's so decimated?
Sharp's a worry. Like, his brain's at fullback.
But then he gets a 22.
Yeah.
Because of the forward?
Yeah.
It's not going forward.
Yeah, well, probably Lucas, to be honest, because again, I just think he's just such a champion guy. He's playing busted. Like, at the end of each game, he's literally just like, he's limping, mate. He looks like Captain America at the end of any game, mate. He's cooked.
And on the other side, shout out to Cookie and a few others because Pierce Paul's had a really good run. And so many times he could have gone even better, right? Some of those games where he's had a couple of sin bins, he's had
Mistake here and there.
Here and there. Like, it's really costing him even higher scores. But yeah, he's been outstanding.
They're going to need a monster performance from their back row this game. Monster.
What's your thoughts with Ruben Garrick? It wasn't a terrible score, got upgraded to 44, but we haven't had one of those high ones in a while.
Yeah, but I think, mate, for a wing fullback, 44 on a bad day for me, I'm taking that every day of the week.
Your thoughts, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just set and forget for me. Like, the 4-round average for me, it's fine.
And the big thing with him is his fate is tied to Turbo.
Yeah.
And Olaquata hit back hard.
Well, you knew he would.
Yeah.
He's another guy that people will be starting to look at when they really strengthen that full 17.
Yeah, it was never in doubt, mate. It was never.
And he's
in
up
doubt.
against Lucas too.
Yeah, we're good to watch.
Yeah.
Let's talk the Storm v the Cowboys. This should be a good game on Friday evening, 6 p.m. And, well, everyone's back. So Harry Grant obviously was a late withdrawal. Trent Nero come off the bench, still scored great, but they're back into the starting lineups. And then the Cowboys, well, they got away with it, right? Reece Robson didn't play the full game. It was pretty much when he went off that it all fell apart for North Queensland.
What was
Luckily,
your thought process with about 5 minutes to go as a Tigers man? Do you think they're going to get him?
Yeah, I thought... Okay, so the way that the Tigers would go, I honestly thought we'd get in front, but then the Cowboys would score after us.
On the death or something?
Yeah, like remember that other game where we played them up there and then that funny penalty?
Oh, I remember, don't you worry.
Because we'd got ahead and I was cheering. My daughter was cheering and...
I remember, don't you
and
worry.
then suddenly it was like, oh, no, it's a penalty off the kickoff.
Can't have nice things, Paulie.
Yeah. So I thought something like that would happen, but in the end it was just a more usual West Tigers.
It wasn't a conventional loss.
What about Jackson Purdue, though? What about that score,
I think
eh?
it says a lot about where they both are at. Yeah,
that
mate.
was good. Drinkwater owners would be very happy with that.
Yeah, we're waiting for Drinky to explode, haven't we? So.
Yeah,
well,
he can be up and down.
The Purdue one's annoying because of the 13 rule. I didn't play him.
Yeah, I think a few people got caught out.
Yeah, I played Lucas and Kautoga.
I was lucky, but I also had thought it through. I wanted to bring in Iro before round 13, get his score in round 12, and then use him as the looper.
Yep.
So I could loop Purdue in with.
Just confirming, he's in DPP, yeah?
We haven't got the DPPs yet. I don't believe Purdue will get it.
Don't believe you'll get it?
I don't believe so because it has to be 3 games minimum, depending on the scenario, by round 13.
All right. Well,
so they don't count. They're not going to count this game, even if he's been named, because this game it could change before kick-off, right?
Right.
So they have to see 3 beforehand. That's my understanding. Most people listening, they'll already know, right?
I'm glad I brought it up, though. It's good to clarify.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I mean, again, it's not official because they're still working through it.
You went viral last couple of weeks. You've been a big talker.
Will there be
a lot to talk about?
Riots in the streets over that point?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it's a talking point there because again, he's a big player. He scores big points,
well, yeah.
and he's in a position of a lot of need.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Centers are brutal.
When have the Cowboys got their next bye? It's late, isn't
27.
it? There you go. So he's
kind of important.
Pretty late.
He's kind of important.
So anyway, we'll just have to wait to the next updates. Let's talk Dolphins v the Dragons, shall we? It's the 8 p.m. game, and these two teams deserve a prime time clash because they've been very good this year. I think they've exceeded expectations, shall we say, and now we get a chance to see them in action. Nathan Lawson, I think people were going to ask us about him because he got the nod over Terrell Sloan, perhaps surprisingly. Looked really good in debut last week.
Big, strong lad.
Only issue is I wish he was wing fullback because he's listed as a centre.
Yeah, okay.
And again, like we talk about with DPPs, he's not going to get up great this time round because he only just came into the first grade side. So that's a bit tricky. I'm still thinking if you're looking to downgrade, he makes the most sense for mine.
Yep.
if you're looking at upgrade one, downgrade another. And then you look at guys like Damien Cook, a lot of people talking up him, Toby Couchman, people that jumped on Hamish Stewart are happy. So there's a few Dragons options popping up with their decent buy schedule, Luke.
Yep, 100%. I like that. Yeah, I love. Again, we just talked about in the last game the Marju factor. Clearly, Flanagan's identified that kick return's a big deal. So he's put Tuipulotu straight back in because
he was outstanding before the injury.
the one thing he's good at is bringing the ball back
and finishing. Right?
Yeah, I know what I'm saying, but he's
over the other guys.
He's like a lighter version of Brian Toll. He's not as good, but he's the same sort of
building.
But what Lawson showed last week, again against a very probably a bit light Newcastle side, but what did he show?
He was good.
Meters return.
Yeah.
And energy. That's
energy.
Tough carries.
Deserved it.
And we said it all pre-season with this team, didn't we, with Dragons? They're going to work. They're going to be born.
No one wants to play them.
Grind. No one wants to play them. That's why this is a great
Another
game.
winnable game.
It's a contrast of styles.
Yep.
What do you do now the Dolphins have had their bye out of the way, Andrew? Do you look at Isaiah Katoa? Do you look at Herbie Farmworth?
I think you look at Herbie, 100%. Look at Herbie. He's there, blue ribbon centre. Set and forget.
Well, the Fogarty news last week.
That burnt me.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring Isaiah Katoa in because I want to have a bit more coverage.
So you're bringing him in?
I think he's a season-long keeper.
Yeah, okay.
So why not get him this week? He's continuing to rise in price. Kicking myself I didn't get him earlier. But,
how could you have picked that, though? That's the problem.
Well, I thought he'd have a good year. Not this good, though.
Yeah.
And shout out anyone that picked up Pacific Tonga.
Yeah.
It's going good.
Big lad, too. Oh, God, he's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Let's talk about the Sharks v the Warriors, the 5:30 game on Saturday. And, well, the Sharks coming off a bye, while the Warriors, there was I guess, I don't want to say tough game because it was so high scoring. I don't know.
Well, they got shocked. They should have put that game to bed a lot sooner.
They fell into the trap.
Yeah, of course. You can't do that this year.
Trap against South where they just go, we're just going to go points for points, and then they almost got to do a point where Latrell could go, I'm going to steal this game now.
Yeah, nearly did.
Nearly did. But I think the talking point this for them is poor old Barnett.
Yeah, I know.
It's just devastating.
Yeah, and it's going to have a knock-on effect, right? Because you talk about that game against South's Keon Kolamatangi we'll get to. He could be next in line for Origin.
Probably will be.
A lot of people brought him in.
I think he's definitely in the gun for a bench spot now.
That's what I mean with Barnett out. So that's ACL. Capewell back into the centres. I think that pretty much locks him up for dual position.
Does it? Okay.
I would say.
Good to know.
And Halasima owners, if they held the faith, he's back in the starting lineup.
He's back.
Clark again. He just keeps putting out the big numbers. All your Warriors, you're still holding him. Metcalf. He could just be a hold now.
Yeah, he's a borderline keeper, right? Like I genuinely pulled the trigger after round one.
So did everyone.
A lot of people.
And now I'm just ignoring all his scores because I just don't want to know.
It's Keone Kinney all over.
He proved a lot of people wrong. And I think the other one to look at seriously with this team is JFH now.
Yeah, people will look at him. It's just again
he's going to have to play a lot more minutes now too.
Head to head, if you're playing overall, 15 and 18 Warriors are on bye, so you might have to pass him through, but head to head, he's a great pickup. And then you look at the Sharks, Kaolito. I think if you're not going Farmworth, I think he's just a good option in the centres, particularly now that we're not too sure about Lucas. Like if he keeps getting hurt, like at what point do they just shut him down? So you want either or Farnworth. Will Hines bounce back, Andrew? I've got a feeling like he might go on a bit of a run.
This is a bit of a tougher matchup. The Warriors actually, again, surprising most after their round one game, are a really good team.
Yeah.
So maybe not this round, but it's all for Hines to play, especially over the Origin. Yeah. He's not going to be playing. They're going to go up the ladder.
It's tough for them too. There's coming to Sydney, flying back to New Zealand, then coming back again. So they're doing 2 away. They've got to factor that in too.
2 away games within 6 days.
Just before the bye too, so I don't know, it's a bit tough.
How's my boy Fanua Blake?
Well, I was going to say the best performer in this game out of Fanua Blake and McInnes is probably going to be my trade-in target for round 15 because I need a mid for round 15.
Okay.
So, we'll see how they both go. If you own them, you're happy, right, to get them back after the bye. Hopefully you looped them smartly last week. Let's get to some questions, shall we? Good to get your questions coming through. NT Fletcher Sharp, do you think he has a good matchup this week? Well, it's against your team, Manly.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't. Yeah.
No, straight away. Maybe that's my heart talking, not my head, but yeah.
NT, the problem is, the problem is, it's a desperate game for him, and I don't know what version of Manly's going to turn up.
Well, Ezra Mam had a huge game the other week, plays left half. Some sort of, similar speed and,
Yep.
and break,
Tackle breaking, yeah.
tackle break ability.
Yep.
He scored 22.
I just worry.
So it's not great.
I worry about it's a bit like the Queensland Origin thing, right?
Yeah.
How are your half supposed to do anything if your forwards aren't going up the like they're going to have to rely on. They're going to have career games.
Well, the Manly
Middle
that's the thing.
forwards.
Manly have to go again, and they haven't been very consistent this
They've
year.
been off. They've been off on off.
The week before, Dylan Brown, who can be fantasy relevant, played Manly and scored 20.
That's what I mean.
They're not good signs. If you're thinking like Manly shutting down, like Ola Kawada, you mentioned him earlier, he's a very, very powerful player and strong defender, big hitter. I don't know how sharp. I'm not sure how sharp
defends.
goes. Well, yeah, and he might have some missed tackles too in the reverse, And then you're looking at
It's tough, NT. It's a boring answer, but it's very unpredictable.
Tom
I'm not
Dearden
sure.
was better the week earlier, 42, but yeah.
But he was doing. But
He's probably playing sharp anyway.
Yeah, I'm playing him.
17, you probably
so
just
am I.
got to play him.
Yeah.
Frank Spencer, what's your thoughts on Nia Corday? Now Barnett is gone. Does he become more relevant?
Well, we bought Nia Corey up a couple of weeks ago.
No, you're thinking Nicola, right?
No, Nia Corey. We bought him up.
really?
Yeah, we bought.
Okay.
We talked about him. Play the tape, League.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely talked because remember that was the game he had the two tries. Remember in New Zealand, but he was playing extra minutes because of the injuries.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. But to your point, he's a bit erratic.
I'm not.
And also, too, he just plays a bit too hard. He always gets a HIA or something.
Well, he scored 36 in 76 minutes. It's not the PPMs I'm
I
looking for.
genuinely think, as a rugby league player, he's probably one of the most underrated.
I agree.
Oh, he's a good player. This
But
is just talking fantasy.
I'm saying in fantasy, it's just
He's a glue guy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always translate to fantasy
that's right.
points, right?
That's right. So
And the Warriors' bye schedule, it doesn't suit.
yeah,
Darth Trader, afternoon fellas, thoughts on Jackson Ford. Cheering I held correct. That's good timing because I was going to say, but we moved on. The one guy I would consider from the Warriors if you were playing head to head is Jackson Ford. Another guy, I'm not sure what's going to happen with dual position. I think he fell one short
Does
as
he?
well.
Okay.
Would have been nice to get the dual. Cheering I held Karaz, yeah.
Well, in cheering,
well
right?
done, well done.
Well done.
We had one good week, me and Jacob.
Daniel Dimitrevski, thoughts on offloading Haas early to
Here he
upgrade other
goes. Here he
areas?
goes. His spider sense is tingling.
Yeah,
There he is.
we were asking before the show, having a little chin wag, saying, so what's the most likely questions this week? It was, will people want to sell Payne Haas? So the upside is he's got a break even of 94.
Mm-hmm.
You get a ton of cash by selling him, so you can jump on any one of Couchman or
Kiraz, get him back.
Kiraz back. Katoa we mentioned. You might be interested in Jaden Campbell. Plus, you've probably got enough money to upgrade one of your mid-price guys. Like I own Iongi still.
Yep.
He's getting close to the 500k because you save so much money in Haas. The issue, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's twofold. One is, how many trades do you have left?
That's
You're gonna want
the
him
issue.
back.
You need him back.
And then the second one is, how do you know when to get him back?
Yeah.
Because what if you miss the week, he gets 110? Because he can do it.
He can do it.
And you're like, oh, I'll get him next week. His break even's still high.
Well, I'll bring that question forward. Who does he play this week?
Well, I'm
Titans.
captaining him this week.
Well, it'd be very silly for us to say sell now.
It's definitely down to what we talked about, right? If
Yeah.
you've got enough trades
He could get 110 this week.
and you're playing that game. But to me, what Brisbane have been through, they're in the media everywhere.
Yep.
Like people have kind of given the leave pass until this game, right, against your boys.
Yeah, giving us no credit, by the way. Anyway,
No,
carry
they've
on.
really gone out. Like it's
It's the
all out
I know.
now.
Yeah.
Because it's the Broncos. Like the time for the let's see is over. There's
Not
got to
much
be a
around.
response, right?
Oh, and what else is on this weekend for him?
Origin selection.
No, Reynolds is 300th.
It's crazy.
At home,
Big brother
packed
versus
house,
little brother.
And Titans,
a great video
and
coming out
And
on-
Titans
from Adam
always
Reynolds.
play
Well.
Broncos well.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
I just think-
Tino will be fired up.
100%.
Payne Haas captain. That's what I'm doing. I'm going all in.
So really, by that logic, you really can't flick. If you're going to,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
Well,
offload.
it's a 50-50 call, right? It's how do you play fantasy? Do you say, I'm going to go and take risks and put it all out there?
I'll spin it for Daniel that way then. Daniel, are you willing to accept if you're going to flick him to upgrade your other spots and then miss out from the following week? Are you willing to accept this week that he might go bananas and go, well, I'll take the hit? No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'll take the hit. If he goes huge this week, so be it, but at least I've upgraded elsewhere. That's what question you're going to ask yourself, right?
And in reverse,
Are you going to be able to get him back? That's the thing.
And in reverse, I'm like, great, if people are going to offload him, I'm going to double down and if I've made that choice and conscious decision, I'm wanting to keep Haas because he is going to miss a bunch of games. He is going to have lower scores like he had last round. I'll captain him on the weeks that I think he can go big because I want to double down. He could become a pod for those of us that hold him.
I'll still
Payne Haas the pod.
I'll still Scott Baldwin's take. I think at the start of Origin, before Origin 1, I think the time to sell him was then. You sell him then, you get a landscape, the map of the area out, and then you can plan ahead. But I think now you're a little bit...
You're 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm saying no. Don't.
I know now, yeah, for me, sure. Yeah.
Next preview is the Broncos v the Titans, and we're talking about Payne Haas. We're wondering whether we should hold him, whether we should sell him. But if you are holding him, Andrew, this could be the week that he gets another three-figure score.
Yeah, just absolutely goes large. Yeah. They are down against Titans, against Tino again. They're just, it's all looking good for Payno this week, I think.
And what's Madge done? He's responded.
Carrigan.
He's put Carrigan back to lock.
Makes sense.
2023.
Yeah, and he's put Piakura at second.
2024 team. Because Piakura's in, Jensen's at prop.
Yep.
Hetherington back to the bench. Willison back to the bench.
Like you said just before the question, this is it now.
And who else is back? Reece Walsh.
Yeah, but this is it.
Yeah, it's all on the line.
You don't get a W this round.
Yeah.
It's going to be
frog marched out there.
We're going to be watching everything because Walsh has a big game. He could come back into Origin contention. He could come back into people's fantasy contention for their teams. And then on the flip side, the Titans have named Jaden Campbell a fullback again. Got a great score last week, Andrew.
Yep.
But probably his floor now is a lot lower. We just saw the Fletcher Sharp 98 into 22. Like that's now Campbell's variance, right? Whereas at halfback, he seemed to get 40s and 50s minimum.
Consistency of points, right?
So now the worry is, can he keep that up? Brimson is 18th man. They could bring him to fullback and drop Weaver and play Campbell back at half.
I don't think so. I think Weaver's probably...
Well, he's the organiser, right?
Yeah, that's who they need at half.
Right.
I think Weaver's probably going to stay there.
You don't think they see Campbell as a Luke Metcalf type that can do both?
No. Okay. No, not yet. Not like maybe as a 6. I don't see him as a 7 though. Not yet. Not in his career.
So that's huge. Then if you're thinking of bringing him in.
Okay. So in your opinion, you think Campbell's still a buy?
Potentially, if you've got enough trades, because he has a nice little buy schedule now. But certainly.
So he doesn't go that well at fullback.
Yeah, he has good games, but
it's just not as large.
Well, he can go large.
Yeah,
he's saying the variance is high, right?
As we saw with Sharp, played the last 2 games at fullback, got his best score of the year, and then his worst.
So ideally, if you were going to get him, you get him this week with the assumption that you hope he's back to halfback next week, because of Brimson's in the 18, right?
Well, I just think to me, unless you're loaded with trades, you just want to go all in. Why not just watch one more week?
Yeah, because obviously Brimson's in their best 17. It's just the question of where
who's
he's going
to play
be.
Where. Yeah,
because obviously it's a HIA issue this week, isn't it?
Because Foreign can play.
I'm pretty sure.
So they must be going for clearance. So got HIA in a
That's what
training.
I mean. So that could be a late
They don't
change.
play till the 7:30 game. Yeah, so that would be interesting. So it could be, as you said, it could just be a 1 week thing. Obviously, he got a great score last week, but he's still got a break even of 60 because he had the lowest score in his rolling average.
If you told me Jaden Campbell's averaging 60 this year, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then both for more owners, people talking up Chris Randall.
Yep. Shout out Floggy. Floggy's been on that train for a cheap, a mid option.
It's not the worst. We might bring him up again in another week or 2 because he could end up covering. He doesn't play 18 though, so probably will.
How many eyeballs do you reckon are going to be on this game?
Yeah. It's
All
gonna
of
be-
Brisbane, at least.
I reckon all of the media too.
Of
Yeah, all
course.
the media.
Huge.
Huge game.
Huge game. Sunday afternoon football on breaking records. Josh Paulie for the Canberra Raiders as they take on South Sydney at home. It's going to be a great game. He's been named to start, which means Horsburgh's moved to lock, which means Smithy's moved to the bench. We did warn people of buying Smithy's the other week. Said, looks great now. It could slide pretty quickly. I feel like it is sliding quickly. And obviously they've got a buy coming up. At least Jamal Fogarty owners have seen
Rejoice.
7 because we needed that. And then Savilio Tamale, I thought he was really, really good.
I don't know how he just keeps producing.
He's just such a good.
It's like Lehigh, mate. He doesn't. He looks way stronger than he actually. He looks. You know, he doesn't look like he's super.
He's stronger than
but
yeah.
Mate, he's super strong.
Yeah.
Speaking of strength, what about Latrell Mitchell's second half against the Warriors? If he wasn't playing Origin or if you were playing head-to-head, you'd just bring him straight in, wouldn't you, after that?
I think a lot of people would look at him after Origin.
Yeah, I was looking at him just before.
That's the sort of
Just-
game you wanted
yeah.
to see from him.
He's a superstar. I love him.
Keon, well, if you owned
Well, he's
him.
played himself into Origin
So
contention.
he almost went too well.
Yeah.
Like 85, it was like
Yeah, it's
you're
crazy.
rejoicing, but then you're like, oh,
So
now,
what would your recommendation be now?
oh, you have to wait now.
Yeah.
Like, what if you get him and he misses, what,
So you-
15, 18,
Okay, that's what I was
19?
going to say. So what's the clarification? So what do you if he gets this? What does he
So
miss?
South's play 15 and 18, but he would miss it because he'd be unavailable due to
Yep.
Origin selection.
Yeah.
South's had the bye in 19, so he would miss that automatically. And then 16, it would come down to whether
He back
Gets
up.
rested
Bennett
or
wants
not.
him
Yep.
to back up, which would probably depend how many minutes he gets. But certainly you'd think he'd play a reduced role. Like he's playing pretty much the full game in the middle.
He's basically copying
Taylor.
Terrell Mays.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Basically.
Isaiah Yeo didn't do that on the weekend after playing Origin, right? He had to take some time off, which he never does.
It's a copycat
So
league, though. Everyone's looking for that edge.
if you
Just
got
saving
Keon,
one
well done.
interchange.
Yep.
If you didn't get him, it's a real headache. If you got enough trades, maybe you just do
Well,
it anyway.
that's what I did. I waited because I was like, sometimes the best, because all the carnage, I'm like, don't make a trade last week. Just kind of, if you got 13, play them.
Yeah.
And then you can.
The you and Aitken's not a bad alternate to
Yeah.
Kolomatangi if you still want a Souths
And I don't want to
player.
bring it up, but so that's off.
They haven't named, as time of recording, we're recording right on 4. They haven't named it. My understanding, I don't even want to say anymore because last time I brought something up, people decided to make up.
Well, we are
their
the
own.
source of truth, so it's better if you just.
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because he's been named in the second row. What people that wanted him to get the DBP, what we really needed to see is that affirmation of him getting named in the centres. It hasn't happened, so now it's really down to the experts to
Okay.
make their call, and we'll wait and
Yep,
see what
okay.
they say.
There you go. Heard it from the. There you go.
One more thing about that game.
Go on.
Obviously, Tarpanay a bit below, but we're not worried about that. But
Yeah, it was
Horsburgh-
disappointing. He scored a try.
They were, and again, I got a bit of a theory about it. They were down across the board. Hosking was down. Tarpanay was down.
Well, Horse and
their backs were huge. But
Horse and the Mule. Are we
That's
getting
right.
rid of them?
oh no, I'm not yet.
No, I'm going to keep.
I think that sells.
I'm keeping the mule.
It's a bit.
I think
It's
they're
a big
sells.
emotional
Yeah, but who-
game this week.
Yeah. One more week, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this.
Watch Tarpany go bananas.
Tarpanay's a season-long keeper.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Mule and I'm talking about the
It's
Horse.
going to be a big event down there.
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh, mate, there you go.
There you go.
I like
Photographs,
to go to the
autographs.
big events.
Meet and greet.
Yeah, meet and
It's gonna be
greet.
great.
Ask about DPP. You're the man.
Please don't.
He loves it.
I love it. West Tigers take on the Penrith Panthers. A 4:05 p.m. game, and it's Luai v Cleary. What about this one, eh? The two number 7s.
Wonder who you're going for.
Yeah, well, I won't be there for that
It's
one.
a big game. It's
Obviously, I'll
a
be in
big
Canberra
game for the Tigers.
weekend. Yeah, I mean, look,
Big game for the Panthers too.
Gerald Skelton's back.
Yep.
That's going to help them. Unfortunately, the forward pack's been decimated. Now Royce Hunt's also out. Seyfarth's had to move. to
Fantasy
lock.
Barnacle, Alex Seyfarth.
No Alex Twirl. Charlie Murray's going to be one to watch off the bench.
Okay.
He is a strong worker in New South Wales Cup. So will he get some Alex Twirl type minutes? Is the big question.
It's amazing how the season changes, right, just off one game. Like last week on
Stafford was good, eh?
on Sunday, Penrith were down. Parramatta looked like they were going to almost close it out. Now this whole game's taken a different narrative now. Like if Penrith win this into the bye,
start to
season's not dead now.
The ball starts
I'm
rolling.
back.
Bit of,
I'm back.
Now, we brought up Payne Haas as a potential sell. The other person that people have talked about is Nathan Cleary. This one seems a much tougher call, right? Like, surely he's the best half in the game. He's just an out-and-out hold. Am I wrong?
Like Matrix and Commando, no chance.
yeah, I'm the same. It's the same with Haas. You're getting a bit too cute.
No.
You know what I mean?
This one feels too cute. I know
it's
that
just
Ivan
too
said he's
cute.
going to miss 16.
Yeah, but it's fine. Whatever. You're playing with 13. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Why would you? Again,
Sometimes you just got to hold trades.
the only explanation to flick him, again, like I just said before, if they lost against Parramatta, again, your boys somehow get up and beat them, and the season's kind of just slipping away.
Yeah.
See them
But
ever
mate,
giving up,
but
even
they're
if
not
you,
going
even
to
what you're
now.
saying. Yeah, even what
The comp's too tight.
can't do.
Yeah.
If they just get to the finals in the 8th position, who's going to want to play it?
No
different
one.
if you
I
had-
don't want to play them.
Exactly right.
It'd be different if you had Nico Hines playing at his highest
That's
level.
right.
Fogarty wasn't going through injury clouds.
The
Campbell wasn't, mixing between fullback and half.
only guy you could justify it for is what you said earlier in the show.
Yeah,
It's Katoa.
Katoa.
yeah.
But
that's
even
right.
then-
But why bother?
Why bother?
Yeah,
Trades are too important, mate.
yeah. Get your questions in. We're going to go answer a whole bunch of them very, very soon. Just one more game to get to first. It is the Kings.
King's birthday.
It is the Kings' birthday Monday game, and of course the Bulldogs taking on the Eels has become a bit of a tradition, 4 o'clock on the Monday in June. And I think this is going to have so much spice to it because Lockie Galvin, named at 23, I'm not sure if he's going to play yet, but who was the one team who thought they were going to get him,
Yep.
who he was a fan,
Was a
huge
fan
fan
of,
of the
yep.
posters up on the wall as a kid.
The Mitch Moses connection.
Like, if these two teams and the supporters didn't have enough rivalry already, this is just going to add a whole nother layer.
We're expecting a huge crowd there. Some offering $10 tickets.
Oh,
so
get out
if you
there.
can get there, I reckon you just get there.
Promo, Andrew.
It would be an amazing atmosphere. Get there. Two sets of passionate fans. Like, what more could you want?
Parramatta were very good against Penrith.
Mate,
That was a semi-final.
They've got a
quality
lot
game.
to look forward to, the Parramatta.
They're not the worst team in the
No, they
not
are
even close.
They are looking very good. That was a rough start for the season, obviously, but they are a good team. Very good
Jack
team.
Williams. I wish Presto had listened to me
Well, shout out Preston. He flicked him, and he's just
ever since.
gotten 50 plus
There'll
every
be people,
game.
there'll be
Great
people
stuff.
messaging him.
Beautiful.
Can you
Reverse
get rid of
Reaper.
such and such player? For
I
us?"
can't use the words he said when he was watching on the weekend, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. Kitiani Kartoga owners, I don't think they should be worried. Everything went against him in that game. He had that HIA, which are very innocuous, lost 15 minutes.
Well, mate,
And they went right a lot.
he looked like Brad Clyde the week before.
No, that's what I'm
He
saying. I
was
wouldn't be
offloading
worried.
every time he hit the ball. I was like, what's doing?
Iongi had another solid game.
He's a good player, mate.
He's going good.
Yeah,
He's a good player.
Yeah.
And for the Bulldogs, well, Jacob Kiddo's back. Huge.
Well, that's
huge.
That's yeah.
But it's the last game, right? So
We
obviously,
got fake news again on that one.
yeah, but we don't know what's. Yeah, well, there's one guy. Well, we'll talk to our old colleague Michael Chamis about. That's who we can ask in future. But it is good to see him back. But whether he actually plays or not, who knows? If you've held him, as I think one of our listeners and viewers said earlier that he had, just have an alternative because it's the last game. So if he turns into a red dot,
Yeah, who they got there extended?
And
Blake
also, why
Wilson.
do we love him so much? It's like the Lucas thing. It's like all the other guys. He just plays through everything.
Yeah,
So,
he
like
guts
you
it.
said, even if he's named this week and he's back, you just got to look at him, see what he looks like, because he's one of
Great
those guys.
matchup,
It's
though.
just a flesh wound with him.
great
He just
matchup.
keeps going.
he's got a
nothing
great
but-
matchup next week.
Yeah,
too.
great match. He's just a good player.
And Josh Curran, I'm interested in him. I'm interested in Bailey Hayward. There's some options here if you at least to watch, but maybe even
So it's,
get.
It's just going to be hard because again, I'm going to go before you blokes. Obviously, Galvin's going to be in the 17.
I think so.
The question is, will Hayward get moved up, or will someone come down? And also, where is Galvin going to play?
I think it's a straight swap for Sexton.
I'm a big fan of Sexton.
Me too.
I
think Gavin could come on as a bit of a lock too, to be honest.
Yep. He could. Yeah, him and Kurt Mann, please.
With 20 minutes, I'm telling you.
Yep.
I think he could.
That's what the West Tigers wanted to do with him, and he was desperate to leave. So funny that. Zach Lomax all over again, isn't it? Oh, I want to leave because I want to play centre. And number 2, Zach Lomax. There you go.
Very good.
It's so easy.
Very good.
Let's get to your questions, shall we? And here we go. Got some good ones, I'm sure, this week. Sav Gunn, head-to-head. Do I bring in Jaden Campbell or Katoa for Fogarty? Oh, jeez.
Why are we getting rid of
I'm
Fogarty?
not getting Fogarty. If Fogarty's playing, I'm not getting rid of him.
Fine.
But but just say Sav's Gun is heart set on it. Who we?
Jeez, it's just an awful situation.
Yeah.
Because those 2 guys played before Fogarty.
Yeah.
So you can't even sort of wait and see the 24 hours.
Probably Katoa, if Andrew put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm bringing Katoa in this week.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Paraboy 44 thoughts on AFB and Fogarty to Colo and Jason.
Everyone's getting itchy trigger fingers, aren't they?
Paraboy, just keep those 2 guys. They're fine.
I reckon, Colomatungi, I think he's going to play Origin.
One injury, mate, and you're on the chopping block. Turbo's never going to get back in fantasy ever again.
We're play 17.
I'm sick of you.
AFB had a bye last week, guys. Chill.
Yeah. Didn't get rid of him last week. Don't get rid of him this week.
They're not happy.
No, don't do it. Jeremy Worth is key on a bye. Well, we did mention it during the Souths preview. The issue is that we really think
he's going to miss some football.
He's solid for Origin.
Yeah.
The only thing is, Utu Kimono was the next in line.
Yeah, so he'll probably go to start, but again, he probably gets into the 17, but then.
But Utu wasn't in the 17. It's only one of them.
Yeah, so
unless Max King drops out,
unless Daly wants to get.
Or Hudson Young drops out.
Well, I don't know if Daly let out Hudson Young, but I'll tell you what.
But maybe he just go. Yeah, maybe Keon just goes straight into the starting line. Probably not. But
I'll tell you what. Yeah. If I was Daly and I want to really put the foot on the throat, you put him in for Hudson. Then you've got a genuine middle edge. And
well, that's right,
mate. I'm telling you.
Now you got
look
full
out.
cover.
Billy Slater be like, what?
But Daly might look at it as that, okay, great, Keon's had 2 or 3 great games, but he's looking at the breadth of the 12 months.
Yep.
And he had Uto ahead of him, and he had Ola ahead of him. So he may say, that's great, Keon can come into the 20, and he might still get released in round 15.
Yeah.
In round 18, that's where we might...
Jeremy, if you were asking me right now, I think if he has another... I'm telling you, if they have a massive game...
He's coming up against a monster pack.
That's right, and he's man of the match against this pack.
Yeah.
He might just force his hand.
Is this Raiders pack?
I'm going to name him.
Is this Raiders pack the best in the comp?
It's close.
Papali, Tarpanay, Young, Hosking, Horsburgh.
It's close. Well,
and that's with Nicholson out injured and Smithy's on the bench.
Well, Tarpanay.
They're tough.
You know my thoughts on Tarpanay.
They're tough. They don't. Yeah, you wouldn't want to play against them.
I don't laugh at you, Tom. Tom reckons.
Oh, here we go.
At
Revisionist history over there, Tom Leake. Good
I don't
stuff.
think anyone will laugh. Why would we laugh?
No.
They've been building this team for years.
Yeah, and also too, it's round 14.
I laughed at it.
Is Hosking a sell? Ask Hubba Bubba. I've got 19 trades left. I would do it.
Oh, Hubba, mate, Hubba, you're
19
cooking.
trades.
That's
19,
great.
that's good.
Do you spare one?
Yeah, I would.
Please?
I mean, that's where you could go Hosking to Keon.
Use all 4, Hubba. Go for it, mate.
You could definitely get Keon here because you've got enough trades. You can cover it.
Let us know your rank too, Hubba.
So you're off Hosking, eh?
I just think if the Raiders got a round 15 bye and Hosking a high break even, I'm not saying you have to sell him. If your game is just to conserve and do everything, that's fine. Hosking
What if you
could
have
get
to
a 60.
conserve, Paulie?
Hosking could get a 60 this week. Predictor says 60. Against Souths, says 60, okay? So I'm not saying he's not going to go well.
Against?
Well, he'll run up against Tallis Duncan and...
I wouldn't.
Well, Cody Walker's back.
I wouldn't be
so he'll be running at Cody.
I wouldn't be selling him.
Yeah.
So, but
Real nuts
if you're
and bolts,
trying
mate,
to get your
so
buy, if you're trying to get that buy planner working in your favour, Hosking's one of the guys you can move on from because he has a buy in round 15 because he's got a high break even.
In regards to the question, 100%.
The biggest issue why Hosking hasn't hit is because of what's going on with Fogarty, because he needs Fogarty getting those balls to him so he can hit those lines.
Hit the lines.
That's why he didn't play last week.
Well, who came good last week as well on Saturday night? Ola Kawadu. Why?
DCE.
DCE said, I'm in now.
Because they do all the work. They get the 40 odd in base, But then if they can get some attacking stats, suddenly it's a 60.
Look how much quality ball you're getting. So
that's the issue. Jordan Galtman have to get rid of one of either Toya or Marky Mark. Who do you keep?
Well, Toya's got the lower break. What's his break even this week?
It's just tough with Toya because he played so well in Origin. Surely
he's keeping.
So then you've got to get rid of Toya because Marky Mark will be back.
Yeah.
What happened in that game, guys? Because Nwanganitawaze started on fire. He got that sort of lucky try. Then he had that huge line break. He was on pace for a 60 odd. Like that score really diminished.
Well, it's a bit of a pattern with him. We talked about on the last few weekends, Paul. Is that second half he just slows down.
That's
it's
what
almost
I'm worried
like
about.
they stay away from him. And
well,
also too, I think
fatigue's a thing too.
Like, you bet me to. You bet me to.
Like
What's fatigue lead to?
The Talking League boys
mistakes.
Drop ball.
questioned whether he's the rugby in him is coming out.
No,
Well, he's just not rugby league fit. Like it's going to take a year or two. Like
He's running at the sideline because it's not as big a deal.
Yeah.
He's putting in kicks. Okay, it worked out great in that great try, but it's more of a
I
rugby.
just feel someone behind the curtain getting very triggered.
Anyway, that's just what people are saying. I don't have anything.
Smarter people than us, Paulie.
I'm a big fan of him.
Very
He's
skillful.
just got to get that one error out of his game, and he's going to be good.
Which players to avoid because Queensland may call him into the squad. I think that's where Corey Horsburgh. That's why I'm selling him this week. I'm just getting on top of it. He's got a very high break even.
So Corey, who else do we think?
Maybe Joy Arrow.
Yeah, well, Joey's
bigger
been
men.
talking him up.
He's been there before. Kurt
Capewell.
They'll consider him at least in the squad. Then Reece Walsh.
And possibly Reece Walsh.
Where's it leave Ponga?
Yeah, I think it'd be a straight swap.
Straight swap and Ponga stays with Newcastle.
Does Cobbo get
Don't think so.
thought about?
Don't think so.
Because Val Holmes on the wing looked...
Val and Coates, they're fine.
Val looked a little bit
I'll put you on the
caught
spot.
out.
Did Murray Tauralaga get picked this week?
No.
Okay, so he's still out.
He's still out. That's why I'm wondering if Cobbo becomes winger and Holmes either...
No, Holmes and they were fine. They weren't the issue. They weren't the issue.
Looked a bit slow on that.
Everyone did in that. Like, New South Wales played so much better. It's like...
It's Griff. I can't believe he's asking us. Torn between making 0 trades.
Well, read the next
Or
part.
doing Hosking and Haas to JC and Couchman, but I only have 5 trades left.
That's why.
Yeah.
5 trades. That's outstanding.
Look, JC and Couchman are good pickups, but they've still got buys to come, Griffin. You've only got 5 trades left.
Griff, you got to stop.
You can't.
Mate. Enough's enough. You got to stop.
Look yourself in the mirror and say, I have a problem. you got to admit you have a problem.
Yeah, stop, mate.
Stop.
5's crazy.
Toby on the edge, are we worried?
No.
You don't think on the edge you could have a lower
It's a copycat. It's a
floor?
copycat league now. Everyone's doing it now. Cotter did it in Origin. People that Keon started doing it, and then what happened? He moved full time into the middle. More teams are copying it, Paulie.
Yeah, just...
What? Mobility in the middle.
What's wrong?
Well, Couchman... Hosking could outscore Couchman this
And what
week.
did Couchman get last week?
Yeah, he got a 60. Got a good score.
Didn't he get 70?
Oh, maybe. Got upgraded.
He started in the second row.
Yeah, he started in the left, and then he had to move to the right.
I'm just saying, mate, like, the work rate's
Jaden
just
Sewer's
insane.
out,
I know.
69.
Here we go,
Well,
Jack
that's-
Abraham.
Jack Abraham, good to see Mollers on a touch of class this show. I've got Galvin in draft. Is it worth holding him? Is the Dogs debut too far away?
You do look very classy today, Andrew.
Thanks, guys. It's winter, I'm cold.
It's international. Didn't you buy that overseas?
Yeah, you guys wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. This is you
Look,
question.
Galvin could be a buy in Classic. That's how good he could fit into this Bulldogs lineup. So you're definitely not letting him go in draft.
Imagine if you got DPP later on.
We just hold him, see what happens. And the thing is with draft, you can always hit the little E. So put Galvin into your starting team and then have one of your other halves on the bench with an E. And then if Galvin doesn't play, you'll just get that guy score instead.
Yep.
The keg is Luai worth a buy, increased kick metres with no Galvin. If you take away Sinbin last week, yeah. Oh, and braining it against Penrith. I like that shout if you're a little bit behind
Bit
the
of a pod.
and you want a pod.
Now,
It's a bit of a pod.
The only problem is that I believe Marshall did say Fain is not far away.
Well, he's named 14.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is I think he might move him up.
Start creeping
Yeah, but
into
Luai
that.
will still have to do a lot. The fact is, at the start of the year, we all said Luai could be a buy at 589. He's now way lower than that. So surely, even if he just gets back to 589, you've made 150k.
Yeah, fair.
It's 443. Break even.
I feel like you're getting what you
34.
pay for, though.
You probably are.
So, I mean, it's a bit of a pod,
Yeah,
and you have to be a...
And to
yeah.
your guy's point, he'll be up this week. So
Yeah, he'll be up.
If you're playing overall, this could be the week you watch because they have the buy in round 15. He's not going to go up that much in cash, even with a 50 or 60, which, as you said, Andrew, like he's probably not getting those huge scores, but we're just probably hoping. Okay, at the moment he's averaging low 30s. Can he average high 40s, right, under the new system?
Yep.
And then you're going to make your 100 and 150k.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just watch one more week, which is essentially 2, and then round 16, where you've got a guy who's going to play most of the year. Sav Guns back. What to do with Horse? I didn't bring in Colin Matongi last week. Well, Sav, I'm selling Horse this week. I think he's a no-brainer for Origin. So high break even. I'd love to hold him. I wanted to get rid of him last week because he had a high break even. I'll give him one more chance.
What are you got him projected for this week?
He'll get a good score.
Will he?
But we had him projected high last week.
Who does Horsburgh come in for in Origin? Just out of curiosity.
Your man.
It could be your man.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
So who's on the block?
56.
Tell me who's on the block, Andrew.
I don't know. I don't. Fodawaker's probably on the block. He played too many minutes his first stint.
So who starts then?
I don't know.
I think Cotter's got to play lock.
I think they need a back
Cotter's
row.
got to play lock.
I think
And Fermor
needs to start and play some more. It's real tricky.
Or do you go a veteran in Kurt Capewell? That's what they've got to look
or
at.
Jai Arrow,
Or Jai Arrow.
You start playing guys in form.
Yeah, he is in form. He's playing great. What?
Yeah, no, but Fermor, I think Fermor's earned the.
You want to
I
start?
think he is.
Okay.
Yep.
They need that athleticism out on that side too. They're getting cooked by New South Wales back 5.
Ross Slapthorne as a Burton owner, should I be worried about Galvin? I'm
I love that profile picture, man. I missed that show.
Toady. How good.
That's outstanding.
One of his mates, shout out Brett Blewett, friend of mine, who was on Neighbours at the same time.
Should I be worried about Gal? I feel like someone's trying to draw something out of you there, Paulie.
Ross knows because he asked about Burton a while back, and I said don't get him. So.
Well, but full disclosure, Ross is a very pod player. He plays all the pods.
I think,
I'm not worried about. I wouldn't be worried about. I don't think Burton's moving his position, right?
No.
And you still do all the kicking.
He still do all his running.
Yeah, all the running.
If anything, it's probably helps him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Clarity on his situation. So
549k.
It's good. Pretty good.
Wayne Topo, thoughts on Drinkwater? Is he good buy? No more buys. The other BYEs.
Cowboy. Yep.
Until 27, so why not?
Yep.
Got the trades, just get him in and set and forget.
And
he will get the occasional low score though, as all fullbacks seem to do.
And Wayne, he's just fun to watch because he's infuriating sometimes. There's one play he gets 20 points, and you're like, oh, I'm good now.
Play the Storm though, that's not an easy match.
100%. If you play the Tigers every week, he's probably one of the best players in the game.
If you wanted to wait one more week,
aren't they all?
It's not a bad shout either.
Yeah, I just think he just does too much for that team.
Yeah, they need him.
He's very important.
Yeah.
And the following week there'll be no Dearden, right? So he'll have to do even more.
Could be the number
him and
7.
Purdue. Could be. Good show, everybody. Luke, thank you very much.
All good, Paulie.
Andrew,
all good. Thank you.
Again next Tuesday. If you're listening on the podcast, why not come and join us on YouTube live from 4 p.m. every Tuesday and ask a question like so many of the fine people did today. And of course, plenty of fantasy content on the app and at NRL.com all week. So stay tuned and don't forget those 1 hours and the 24-hour team lists. Get onto NRL.com, the source of truth, as we like to say.
Baby.
It's the only place you can trust it, right? Anything else, who knows?